gradually into the system, you won't know. I will show you a chart later where some statistics to show the number of people that die from indoor pollution. It's alarming. People are dying. Cancer is everywhere. It's difficult to say this is what is causing cancer. So we have a lot of pollutants in the air. They are affecting us directly and indirectly, and we look helpless. Look at this. This is a car generating fumes. This is carbon monoxide that will react with the atmospheric oxygen, converting it to carbon dioxide, which eventually will get up and form a blanket, which we will see later, causing what is called global warming, and then several other ones. So air pollution is probably one of the most serious environmental problems confronting our civilization today. There is no doubt about that. It is. Air pollution is. So we have some stationary sources like bush burning, indoor doors, wood burning for cooking, CO2 from small generating sets. Many of us can remember, I saw a story recently where a family of I think 4 or 5, it was on social media and it was real. All of them died. Did you see that story? All of them died because they owned this small, I better pass my neighbor, in an enclosed room. And then everybody went to sleep. They fumed from there because they were asleep. Once you have some amount of CO in your system, you will die. Because it's going to react with the oxygen. The body needs some amount of oxygen to be able to survive. So if that oxygen is cut off, nothing can survive you. Family of 4 died. And that was just one of the cases. There are several of them. We have power plants. In Nigeria, right now, we are generating power using generator. Isn't it? Am I correct? Because they never went off. When I was sitting down there, you are generating fumes. That generator is generating fumes. Carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So we must call a spade a spade. We must call a spade a spade. At this rate, all of us, have told you, in the next century, we will all die. At this rate. Nobody will survive it. It sounds funny, but it's catching up very seriously on us. It is difficult even now to know when it's dry season and when it's rainy season. Rain started in, I think, January this year. Am I correct? It doesn't used to be so. You expect rains around maybe April or May. It's difficult now to say these are the months for dry season, these are the months for rainy season. These are all indicators of air pollution. It's catching up gradually on us, but it's like everybody is just moving around unconcerned. We also have natural sources like the volcanoes and wildfires, but these ones are rare. The volcanoes are very rare and wildfires seem localized. So these are not the major contributors. The major contributors are from our activities. Yeah, this is a chart I was talking about. This was given by WHO. And look at this. 3.8 million people die prematurely every year from household air pollution, from cooking. Household air pollution is mostly created by using kerosene and solid fuels such as wood with polluting stoves, open fires, and lamps. 3.8 every year. And then how do these people die? About 18% die from stroke, 27% from heart attacks, 20% from chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, 8% from lung cancer, 27% are due to pneumonia. That's the distribution. All these are linked to indoor air pollution. Other indoor pollutants that are often ignored are asbestos, formaldehyde, radon, tobacco. There are some hotel rooms, if you get in there, you cannot sleep. You can't stay there because they'll be smelling, they'll be stinking with tobacco odor. So these are some of the sources, just a highlight of them. There are several of them that many of us are aware. This is just to remind us. It's like a reminder. So we have different kinds of sources that, in fact, most activities that we do, we release directly or indirectly something to the atmosphere. Let me ask this simple question also. When we drink pure water, what do we do with the sachet? When we take bottled water, what do we do with the sachet? Huh? Very good. Normally, we are supposed to separate. We are supposed to separate those things from municipal solid waste. But in developing countries, typically, like Nigeria, we mix everything together. We mix everything together and burn them. When we burn, do you know what happens? You are releasing death to the air. You are releasing dioxins and furans, highly carcinogenic. I keep on saying cancer is in the air. My brother from College of Medicine will testify. Cancer is in the air. One of my friends just lost an in-law who died of throat cancer. We don't know what caused it. Cancer is in the air. It's from things like this. When the air is polluted, what goes around comes around. It comes back to us to affect us. So I am trying to say all this because that sachet water, that bottled water you drink and throw it away, it will come back to you. It will come back to your brother. It will come back to your in-law. It will come back indirectly and can kill that person. So during the opening speech by the chair, she said, it is the responsibility of everybody. Nobody is free. You can't say this is my air. So whether you are big or you are small, you must pay attention. Because very soon, all this will catch up. They are catching up already. They will catch up. They are catching up gradually on us. People are dying from pollutants that are released into the atmosphere. So the major effect, the major and pronounced effect is climate change. Climate change. Climate change is caused by global warming, acid rain, deforestation, and several other things. I just highlighted few major evidences of climate change, which many of us are aware because we're all environmentalists. This is just to remind us, and then we compare notes, cross-check what is happening. This has been reported. Statements on climate change from 18 scientific associations. Observations throughout the world make it clear that climate change is occurring. And rigorous scientific research demonstrates that the greenhouse gases emitted by human activities are the primary drivers. So we are the cause. We are the ones using our hands to kill ourselves. And then look at this table. This table is showing a trend. It's showing how the temperature, how the globe's temperature is evolving. It is on the increase. It's on the increase. It is on the increase. So, and it has been reported that The 5 warmest years are the 5 most recent years. This is 2000 and what? This is 2019. 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 20 what? 15. So, what I'm saying is that from 2014 till now are the most warmest year. That means the trend is on the increase. So something needs to be done. So these are some of the evidences. The rising temperatures. We have the upper surfaces of our oceans are warming up. We have shrinking ice sheets. We have glacier that is retreating. You can see the picture there. Most times if you go to, there are some of these very high mountains like Everest and Kilimanjaro. When you go there, you see glacier there, something like ice. They are shrinking because the globe is warming up. They are absorbing heat and they are melting away. And these are the things that are creating the natural balance. God put all those things there for a purpose, to create a natural balance. But if from our activities we're increasing the global temperature and these things are warming up, then something is wrong. Decreasing snow cover, global sea rise. We have extreme events. Now we hear of different kinds of tsunamis. You know, you will even know. There are times they will report that, look, this is somewhere, it's coming towards you. You are helpless. There's nothing you can do, no matter how sophisticated you are. That's happened in the US and several other places. Well, the concept of global warming, we're all environmentalists. We should be aware. The concept is simple. When you naturally, there is a balance. There's a balance. We need carbon dioxide. There must be some amount of carbon dioxide for us to even live. Because the plants need carbon dioxide for what? For photosynthesis. We give it out, the plants are supposed to take it. So there is supposed to be a natural balance. But by the time we are releasing more of these gases, especially CO2, it will create a disbalance from what is natural. And there's a tendency of these gases covering the Earth's the Earth crust, so that the heat, the radiation that is supposed to naturally escape into the atmosphere is trapped and it bounces back to us. That is what is causing the globe to warm gradually. And the thicker that layer is, the more of this heat that will come back. And if this continues, the heat will continue to increase and increase and increase, and at a point, we may not be able to bear it. These are all statistics on global warming. You can have this later and read. And then we have also the concept of ozone layer depletion. It is also real. Though this is on a bit of check now, because you know, before the ban of chlorofluorocarbons, these are gases, gases that contain chlorine and fluorine. Chlorine and fluorine, that gas is very stable in the environment. And when you release it, it's stable. It continues to rise until it gets to the ozone layer, that's the stratosphere. And when it interacts with the UV radiation from the sun, it disintegrates. The chlorine or the fluorine are released. And then these can react with the ozone, thereby depleting it. So it was discovered, I think, in the 80s. And the people that discovered a hole over the Arctic region, a big hole where the intensity of the sun around that vicinity was far higher than the other places. So, as a kind of conclusion, all hands need to be on deck. The government has a part to play. NISRA is here. We need laws. We need laws that can guide some of these things. Lagos is trying. In Lagos, you dare not throw anything outside the... They even have mobile banks now. They will get to there, you pay. You pay a fine. So anybody, when you get to Lagos, you will sit up. We need that all over the country. It will help in a way. We need some laws to push some of these things. Scientific efforts. We need some more research also to look for ways of trapping carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Even businesses. We need eco-friendly materials, more eco-friendly materials. Agriculture, use eco-friendly insecticides and the rest. It will help. Environmentalists and then individuals. Individuals is you and I. Let us adopt the Chinese style. Most of them use bicycles. If you use a bicycle does not emit. And then there are some homes that are quite comfortable. You find a daughter, wife, husband going to the same, but is carrying a car. It's not supposed to be so. Why can't you go in one car? Because the more cars you use, the more you release some of these things. And then why can't we adopt good public transport system? If you go to the car park there, you find a lot of cars there. Why can't we have one good bus at the gate? When you come, everybody joins. These are some of the efforts that... and then where you need to walk. Don't use a car. So it is real. The climate is changing and it's catching up very fast on us. Everybody has to sit up. I would like to use this to conclude. The way God made us and nature is this type of relationship. The egret and the crocodile. They are at peace. They are at peace. Nothing can happen between both of them. So if our endeavors are environmentally sustainable, our relationship with our environment will be in this way. But if you disturb this crocodile, this is us. This is us. You can imagine where this thing disturbs the crocodile. It will swallow it. So let's have this in mind. Thank you very much.
Please, can we put our hands together one more time for Dr. Gilbert, the very able representative of our keynote speaker, Professor Kolawole Osinbajo, who was unavoidably absent. And please permit me, in case you don't know, let me tell you right now that the number 2 man in this state, or your state, is right here in our midst. With a standing ovation, please. The fresh Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Rauf Olaniyan. We're so pleased to have you in our midst. Thank you so much for coming, sir. Aren't we blessed in Oyo State? Our governor is an engineer. The deputy governor is an engineer. So of course, can you just start imagining what's going to happen in the next 4 years? 23rd, 25th century Oyo State. All right. Okay, thank you very much. And may I quickly recognize some of our special guests. Of course, you all are very special. Professor Olanrewaju Olaniran, Director Center for Sustainable Development. Are you here, sir? Okay. Olamide Ayeni Babajide, the founder, Pearl Recycle. Please, can you indicate? Oh, okay. I've been admiring that very cute lady. Okay. And Olalekan Shipashi. I hope I pronounced that well. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll come and get educated. He's the founder of Protect Ozone. And Mr. John Oyewole, Oyo State's Ministry of Environment. Are you here, sir? Okay. Mr. Hamid Yusuf, HSE Manager, Rum Oil Mills. Is he here as well? Mr. Salahuddin Olaniyi. And of course, Dr. Oluwaseun Adeyemi, Consultant Public Physician and a Senior Lecturer, University. Akinyemi, Akinyemi is a Consultant Public Physician and a Senior Lecturer, University of Ibadan. We're so glad to have you in our midst. All right, we're moving to the... Okay, also, Mr. Babatunde Oladapo, the founder, Plan Foundation or Plain Foundation. Is he here as well? Okay, let's move on because time is not our friend. We're moving to the panel session 1, and this will be anchored by a friend and colleague, Omopupabi Taya Moto Yellow Sisi. Okay, please come over and do a proper introduction of yourself from 32 FM. Thank you. How can somebody be this dark and she'll be Yellow Sisi? Okay, we understand. You know, yellow from behind. But she's beautiful. Black is beautiful. Please put your hands together for her again.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Oluwatoyin Salao, but I'm simply called Yellow Sisi or Auntie Yellow. I know the students here will understand. They call me Yellow because I'm a happy chap. I'm always happy, and I love people around me to be happy. Yellow is a happy color, so it deals with happiness. I work in a station where we promote happiness, 32 FM, and that's the laughter station in Oyo State. So that is where the laughter is coming from, where the yellowish part of me is coming from. Okay, so we are moving to the segment. Hello? Okay. We are moving to the segment where we'll have the first session that will be inviting our okay, so this is the panel session where we'll invite the panelists, and I would call forward first. My mic is not. Okay. All right. So I would invite forward to the seat where we have the sector FRSC, State Command, the representative, and that's in person of the Assistant Corps Commander, ACC, AR, Obagbenro. Please put your hands together for him as he comes. I also invite forward Mr. Paul O'Callaghan, West African Energy. Please, if you want to clap, clap. If you don't want to clap, keep your claps. I won't beg you to clap. Thank you. Also, I want to invite forward Mr. John Oyewole, EHO, Oyo State Ministry of Environment, duly represented by Mr. Jimo OS. Please come forward. All right. Also, I invite, yes, I said earlier, my name is Oluwatoyin Salau, and I'm inviting forward another Mr. Salau, though we are not from the same state, but I can adopt him as probably my uncle. All right, Mr. Salau Olaniyi, yes, he's here from the Ministry of Environment. Please come forward. Also, the last on the list, but not the least, we are all special and equal before the Lord. I will call forward Dr. Oluwaseun Akinyemi, a consultant, public health physician, and senior lecturer at University of Ibadan. Please put your hands together for him. All right, those are my panelists. And I would also like to inform us that if you have any questions for them, before then, I would just like you, based on all what you've heard, if you have any question, you can write in a sheet of paper, please, and pass them forward. I have some questions for them, and I will be asking, before asking them the questions, I will be talking about them briefly, the people we have. Okay, so I like to look at my panelists. I like to look them. I like to close to them. So I don't know how we are going. Maybe I will not use the mic because I don't know. The mic is breaking and I don't want any transmission. Okay. Let's do it this way. The Oyo State Sector Commander was posted to Oyo State sometime last month, and we have the representative here in person of Assistant Corps Commander, ACC, AR Obagbenro. You're welcome, sir. I've got some questions for you here. And briefly, just before I start asking the questions, I would like to also talk about all the this morning. Also, I've got the CEO of West African Energy here, Paul O'Callaghan, and I'd like to ask also, but before then, he's the CEO of West African Energy Nigeria. He's a senior professional with extensive international experience, all right? He has particular interest in developing economies and a special interest in the ECOWAS region. Am I correct? Okay, good. He writes, he speaks, and he comments on region regularly. He was awarded MBA from Cranfield School of Management. Please put your hands together for him as well. Thank you. Okay, I've got Mr. John Oyewo, EHO, Oyo State Ministry of Environment. Okay, Oyewole, I beg your pardon. Yes, okay, all right, so we have his representative here. We also, and that is from the Ministry of Environment, we have Mr. Jimo OS, that's his representative. Please put your hands together for him as well. All right, that's the Deputy Director, Environmental Health Services, and Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, and he has consulted for many international organizations as well. And not just that, moving forward, I've got Mr. Salau Olaniyi from Environmental Beautification Department, Oyo State, right? And also, he's here present. Though, okay, I said that earlier, he's the Deputy Director, Environmental Health Services, Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. Welcome. Please put your hands together for him as well. Now, Dr. Oluwaseun Akinyemi, consultant. He's a consultant, public health physician, and senior lecturer at UI. He's also interested in health system and implementation research. His specialty includes health policy analysis, health system research, mental health. He was a consultant for WHO, and that's in 2012, and he has consulted for many international organizations. Also, I'd like you to put your hands together for him. Thank you. Now, I'll kickstart with the last person. I called his name. That's Dr. Oluwaseun Akinyemi. According to WHO, air pollution accounts for 7 million deaths per year. Would like you to talk to us more about that. Need another mic for him. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe I may sit. Thank you very much, ladies and like to also thank our Deputy Governor for finding time to join us for this symposium. Now, about the question, about 7 million deaths every year, just like our presenter, as earlier said, air pollution can affect any part of the system, mostly through the lungs, through the respiratory system, any part of the human system. And children and women have been shown to be most affected. Why? Because children, the system is still evolving, especially through pneumonia, and women in many rural areas, we know that people still cook through firewood, and then the fumes are inhaled a lot, especially in kitchens that are enclosed and all. And through skin cancers, when soot fall on human, and I like to say that it is a very serious problem. Of course, from place to place, it differs. In some Asian country, they go around even with masks. I even watch a documentary where people buy pure hair, purified hair, to pipe into their homes, and we should not get to where we begin to buy hair, just like we buy water. While I was growing up, you know that when you go to a canteen, it's a given. When you buy food, you are given water, isn't it? We don't talk about pure water. But it got to a time when you buy food, you must buy water. I hope we don't get to a place where we begin to buy hair at home, not in the hospital. You know, we talk about oxygen in the hospital, but in some countries, they now buy hair just because the environment is so polluted. And there are many areas, there are many ways this is affecting us. I've talked about children, I've talked about women, but what are the other areas, just like the presenter has said, especially at the household level, where we have, like we said, burning of refuse. In many places, especially developing countries like ours, we still practice open burning. We do open burning for refuse. And what happens there? There are many hazards. We just transform the waste from solid to gaseous, and then we all inhale it. And these are, just to summarize, that air pollution can affect almost all the system. Inhale toxins, the lungs, they go to the liver, because the liver deals with breaking down of the toxins, and with the accumulation, it can also affect the liver. And sometimes when people work in factories, for example, cement factories, a lot of particles or aerosols are produced. And long term, we can talk about skin cancers and other forms affect of the system long term. So that's why thank you.
Okay, thank you. Based on what you have said so much. You talked about the pollution, how we should manage it. Now, talking about air pollution, the way forward. What exactly is the way forward? What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to curb it? What are we supposed to look into? What are we supposed to do? Can we as individual, can we pollute the air? Not industry this time around. Can we as individual pollute the air? And how do we curb air pollution?
I think the theme for this symposium is the way forward. I'd like to quickly run through. I would like to categorize this way forward, the solution, according to the problems. When we're talking about wastes generated in homes, I believe that the way forward is to practice, we call it the 3 R's. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Yes, we need to start from source. We need to reduce the waste that we produce. Many of the things that we throw away that we can use again. Many of us, every time we buy bread, we ask for a nylon bag, isn't it? And in our homes, we have piles of nylon bag that we don't even know what to do. Why don't you take the old ones to the store and reuse? And what about recycling? I love these tire designs. This is what we are talking about. Many of these tires are littering our streets and they are constituting nuisance. But this has been transformed into a work of art. These are things we should promote and we should do more of it. Now, transportation is another means of air pollution. Look at our roads. You see rickety vehicles and fumes. Now, I'm happy that the Federal Road Safety people are here. I remember the last time I went to take roadworthiness. I was telling the officers at the licensing office, you are collecting roadworthiness money from me. You did not even go out to check my car, whether it is roadworthy. It seems, and I say this with all respect, that it seems sometimes that the government is interested in revenue generation rather than, because no officer went out. Ideally, cars should have been subjected to what? Roadworthiness tests. I believe that's the purpose for the money. But what do? We just pay and people give you sticker. Nobody even goes to, so you can call and get the sticker without your cars even being examined. So many cars we have on our road are not roadworthy. They are polluting the air. Sometimes when you want to overtake some vehicles, the fumes they release, you won't even see the front. You have to put on your headlamp to be able to go through in the thick of the fumes. So this is what we are talking about. We need to enforce our regulation. What about household level? Agriculture. We talk about agriculture, the main source of greenhouse gases, methane and all that. Many of these, what do we call it, dung from livestock can be used to make biogas. Rather than allowing all these things to release this waste in the air, we can actually use them for cleaner energy, which will, for example, we are talking about electricity. We can use it to cook. Yes, we can use it to cook, and rather than burning fossil fuel, bringing down trees, which will even worsen our environmental situation. These are ideas that we can explore, and these things are not far-fetched. What about our industry? We're talking about all industry now run. I took my students to one industry some years ago, and they told us that they don't even connect to the national grid because of this process cannot be disturbed. So what do? They just run on generators from morning till evening. So how do we ensure that, one, we have more stable power supply, or that we use cleaner energy? We have wind. We can invest in what do we call it? Yeah, wind farms and all that. Solar panels at the larger level, a large scale level, and we can use this for industry. But I believe that at the home level, at the individual level, we need a lot of education. We're talking about people littering, throwing things out of the car. We need a lot of education as well as enforcement. But we need to start with education before we go to enforcement.
All right, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
For that. I know we... All right, you want to clap for him? Please help us put your hands together for him. Thank you so much for that. I have a lot of questions for you, but if we continue this way, we would not leave here. All right? But he has just alleged a part of the government that they aren't doing what they are supposed to do. It's an allegation. You are here to speak for the government. So please, sir, Mr. I would say the representative of the commander, so Mr. Commander, SAC, AR Obagbero, please respond to that. Is it true that it's all about the money?
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor in our midst. Good morning, everybody. I will want to say what happened to him out there is what is called Nigerian factor. It is not supposed to be so. And it is not designed to be so.
Okay, please, what do you mean when you say Nigerian factor?
Yes, Nigerian factor. Please help me make it sharp, sharp. And the man helps the number one, helps number two. The number three is assumed to need that fast, which is wrong. You and I are the problems we are facing. I should be sincere with you. If you want it thoroughly done, or you agree to it being thoroughly done, the man that is assisting you to cut corners wouldn't find a leeway into doing that. It has to do with you and I. We all are involved.
Okay, but I believe if you are persistent and you insist that you aren't going to do it, nobody would ask you to do it by force.
Madam, I should be sincere with you. By the time you insist with one or two, the next thing you receive a call from up there. It's hard, from ministry of this, from this. Eventually you have to bend. But I should tell you, it is not the proper thing. It is not the proper thing. I should say that all of us should stand to the truth and be sincere. If we are all sincere, we want it properly done. The people that you are helping or that you are requesting to assist you are not getting it right. And by not getting it right, it evolves and the effect is on you and I. It is only one he that is attending to 100 us. So out of the 100, we have 99 infringed and only one him that is piloting this. Who then is in trouble? All of us.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for him. He's right. All right? Now, your question proper. That question I asked you came from the leading question I asked him. The answer he gave me, yes. So, to your question. I've got some questions for you here. Some issues in Oyo State have been attributed to low level of awareness amongst her residents. What is your department doing to raise awareness on air pollution, its effects, and prevention?
Thank you very much. In Oyo, this is a federal agency. We cut across all the states in the federation, and I should tell you that all over we involve in enlightenment. We enlighten our road users and the public in general. What we do is we organize rallies in motor, because we cannot reach everybody on the air. It's not everybody that listens to radio, and if you listen to radio, it's not all the stations you listen to at the same time. So we carry our evangelism to them at the parks. Okay. We talk to them.
All right. So apart from checking particular vehicles, what is the organization doing to curb and minimize pollution from the exhaust pipes of cars?
Yes, thank you very much. I should tell you that it's not only enforcement that we're involved in. We are into regulations. We create the regulation. We tell the government, let us go into this. And that is why among the offenses that vehicles, that road users commit, there's one called ESE, excessive smoke emission, which he mentioned. I should tell you, it's more among trucks and broken down cars. We apprehend them. But I should tell you that we cannot catch everybody at once. So the ones that come into our hands, the ones that we are able to pick, we apprehend, and we will make the individual or the owner of that vehicle please correct this before you leave our premises.
Okay, I feel there should be a follow-up after that, of which you book them. When you catch them, you book them. After booking them, they go and pay and get their car back and put it on the same road.
Sorry, let me explain properly. What we do is this. We apprehend and impound excessive smoke emission. We don't allow you to go because it is a danger to road users. If we allow you, the next accident may be caused by this very individual. So what we do is we apprehend excessive smoke. It is an impoundment offense. It's not an offense that we say, if you don't have your driver's license, we can say, okay, go and do your driver's license, come and collect your vehicle, go and do your vehicle paper, you can still drive without all those ones. But with excessive smoke, we don't allow you to move away from our site. And we will instruct you to repair or correct that, which is done. But it is not as many. I'll tell you, you may not see the effect because how many road safety officers do we have in Oyo State? How many do we have in Nigeria? We are this few, and this few we are to serve. Like in this hall now, we have in hundreds of people. And how many are we? About 3 or 4. You can see how few we are, and the little we are in number, we make effects. So we make you to correct that wrong in our premises. That's why it is seen that we are tough, and it is not that we are tough, but we are concerned with the well-being of other road users.
All right, thank you very much. Before I let you go, I have the last question for you. So, do you have a mechanism in place to inspect the quality of cars coming into this country if they are environmental friendly?
At the point of registration, we inspect. We are not at the ports. If you import even up to right-hand drive and whatsoever, some people smuggle them into the country. But when you come, you know you cannot use our road because we will not allow you to use the roads. We are involved in road safety on the road. So for you to use the road, we must inspect that vehicle and be sure that that vehicle is roadworthy. And by so doing, if we see that that vehicle does not meet up to the standard vehicle type approval, we will not allow for it to ply our roads.
All right, thank you very much. Please put your hands together for him. Now go to the next panelist. He's ready for me. Yes, the question I asked first that I intended to ask you earlier before asking you the questions I have for you here. How long have you been into the business?
The business of waste management?
Yes.
I've been in waste management now for about 12 years.
12 years?
Yes.
Okay, so now, in what way or ways do waste disposal affect the quality of air?
Oh, well, particularly in developing economies, it's the most visible impact on air pollution that you see. So, as we've said before, it's the burning of waste is the real issue. The smell you get from waste dumps and so on is actually methane, and that's methane is 22 times more hazardous. Sorry, excuse me. It's more hazardous than carbon emissions. So the methane is very harmful, very, very harmful. But the methane comes from rotting food. So when we throw our food away into the trash, as that rots, it generates methane. But I'm not sure if you know, but the biggest emitter of methane is actually beef. It's actually cattle. The rearing of cattle causes more methane than anything else on the planet. Even in Europe now, they're going for cow-free days, where we'll actually commit to not eating cow for 1 day a week. Now, if everybody did that, that means 1/7 of the cows would not be eaten. So 1/7 of the methane would not be polluted as you're going through.
Okay, with all what you said, do you think you're doing enough sensitization? And what is the attitude of residents to your sensitization, if there is any?
Yeah, I think, if I can speak freely, Your Excellency, I think the sensitization is a big issue. It's a very important issue. But
why is it a big issue?
Well, because it needs to be done on a very regular basis.
So what's stopping you?
Well, when we do it, well, what was stopping us is the population. So in Ibadan, there's probably a population of maybe 3 or 4 million people. So getting around Ibadan to speak to everybody is very difficult. But if we look at the sensitization programs that happen, not just for waste management, we had our colleague here from road safety talking about his sensitization and all the emissions. It happens, it's very good for 1 hour. As soon as the bandwagon moves on to the next place, where you've left, just goes back to the way it was before. So although sensitization is very key, I personally believe enforcement is keyer, if that's a proper word. So it's about enforcement, not just about sensitization. There has to be follow-up. And with that is the problem of resources. We mentioned road safety as a resource. My friend here from the Environmental Health Officers, we have 13 allocated to waste management for the whole of Oyo State. Of that 13, maybe 9 are active and physical. Of that 9, 8 of them are about to retire within the next 2 years. So, and there's no follow-through.
So they're not cooperating?
It's not the citizens. No, not cooperating. I mean, it's got better. I think the last 4 years, no doubt, I've noticed that recently Oyo State didn't appear, Ibadan didn't appear on the dirtiest city in Nigeria list, which I was quite proud of. So it's, but there's still a lot more to do. But let's think about it. We say Ibadan's dirty. Go to Jericho, it's not dirty. Go to Bodija, it's not dirty.
So
it's a matter of poverty.
Poverty.
It's a matter of poverty. So if you look at places like Bere, Oje, and so on.
Okay. Now.
I've lived in Nigeria now for 9 years, so I mention them quite well. I can't get all names right, but let's sorry, although my pronunciation isn't the key here. So let's think about it. So Bere and Oje, people have choices to make. They have to pay for their children's school fees, they have to pay for their food on their table, or they pay for their waste disposal. If it's me, if I was living there, I wouldn't pay for my waste disposal. I've got a canal running through the middle. I've got streams running through. When it's raining, I throw it in the canal and it disappears. It's like juju. It's not juju. We all know that it's washed down the canal. And we can take you through the big canal, Bode Canal, and we can walk it. We can do it anytime we want and see where that waste accumulates. It is horrendous. There are other places. The markets are atrocious. The markets in Ibadan are the worst markets, are the worst offenders in the world. None of them pay for their waste collection. They all bring their waste to the street. And, God forbid me, there's no toilets in those areas either. So the women are there, they're using nylon bags for their toilet. They're then coming out, putting their hand in the pepe, and then serving up the pepe.
Okay, now I want to come in this way, all right? As part of your particular interest, one of your interests is developing economy.
Yeah.
And it's a special interest, right? So I think some countries at the moment are generating income. They're generating money from waste management. And as a waste management practitioner, what mechanism should the government put in place to propagate and encourage the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle of waste management? And what are you doing to help our economy, most especially in Ibadan, as we are the pace setter? So what are you doing in order to help our economy?
Quite a lot. So let's talk about waste to wealth for a second. So waste to wealth, in my mind, is an anathema. It's very difficult to get to that. You're not going to become Bill Gates. You're not going to become anyone like that from waste management. It's very capital intensive. The cost of running a truck and so on and so on. So waste to wealth is a little bit of an anathema. Can you earn an income from it is really the question, and I think you can. So we have set up a lot of recycling programs within inside Ibadan. We do buyback schemes for PET bottles. We do buyback schemes for pure water nylon, and they're very, very active. Very active. In our facility in Lagos, we recover from the waste stream about 20 tons of PET a day in the peak of the dry season. What we notice is that when Ramadan starts, that goes almost to zero. So there's many opportunities there, and we work with a number of companies.
You talked about buyback, right?
Yeah.
I'm hearing this for the first time, that you do buyback. Maybe you are not doing enough media publicity, okay? So I will help you. I work in the media house outfit, okay? I will do my bit. I will do my bit.
At what price? At what price? Because I know the media is not free. So.
Yes, it's usually not always free.
It's never free.
In as much as it's a buyback, right? I would let the people know that would collaborate.
I
will let the people know that in as much as they have waste.
I'm very happy to collaborate. There's no problem there.
Okay.
We don't do it all ourselves. We work with approximately 6 companies in Ibadan that do buyback schemes, and we arrange for their baling, their transportation, and we take it to where the sources of production is, which is in Ogun State and some parts of Lagos State as well.
Right.
So we're very happy for any of that.
All right, thank you. Please put your hands together for him. Now, he has just said that Bere, OJ, and others are the this and that. You know, I don't want to say 30. You know, we're just, and we'll get out of it. That's Bodija, Jericho. You know, they are not Alanu Foster. They are not dirty areas. Maybe poverty. That's what he said. Now, you and I, we just heard what he said, that there's buyback, right? So you tell one person to tell another person to tell another person that this waste, they can actually make money from waste. Okay? That we can make money from
Sorry, can I?
So instead of littering our environment, polluting our air, we can do something positive and make the waste another source of income for us and better the economy of this state.
Can I? Sorry to interrupt you. Can I? You will, sir. I want to just to add to that. I want to set a challenge, if you don't mind. There's a fantastic initiative that started in Lagos where somebody is arranging PET bottles for school fees. And if we can bring that initiative to Ibadan, I think I saw it's 3,000 naira or something. The contribution was that can easily be made a year in PET bottles. So I set the challenge to the youth here to set that scheme going. Not many schemes, get together, do one scheme, get together a number of schools, particularly in the public schools in the poor areas, where we will buy the PET from you that you put, and we'll contribute towards the school fees for that.
Thank you so much. And now we'll move to, I want to move to my uncle here, my newly adopted uncle, Mr. Salau. All right. You are in charge of environmental beautification. You are from environmental beautification department, if I'm very correct. Now, this question is for you. Afforestation is said to beautify and aid in air pollution control. In what ways are you motivating the public in engaging in this?
Okay, thank you very much. The Oyo State government embarked on intensive mental education and awareness campaign, especially on afforestation. You know, we have afforestation, we still have urban forestry. In afforestation, we have one department in the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry Department, which engage on afforestation, like a community afforestation, where every local government has set acreage of lands aside for planting forest trees. Not only that, the state government has embarked on afforestation along our farm settlement. Whoever given and holding in the farm settlement is about 25 acres or 12.5 acres. They are compelled to plant 20% of their land with forest trees. Now, in terms of urban forestry, up to 10 major roads in Ibadan were beautified with ornamental trees, ornamental shrubs, as well as ornamental flowering plants, so as to curb environmental pollution or air pollution. Now, recently, Oyo State government inaugurated management of open public spaces.
Please, hold on, please. Let's listen to him.
Don't
worry, we'll ask him.
Management of open public spaces. We call it MOPS. Where we use the river and road setback to plant trees. We engage in beautification of all those road setback, and we also plant trees. Then, whenever we do this World Environment Day, we usually involve in tree planting every year. So, all this is part of our efforts in encouraging afforestation. Then it is in our law, especially environmental law 2015 and that of environmental regulation, that whoever is going to cut forestry should get permit from the ministry, and whoever cut one should plant two in replace. That's a way of encouraging afforestation. Not only that, before anybody can cut trees in the state, there is need to get permit. Then in our environment, if you are given one plot to build your house, there is a certain regulation that certain percentage of that plot of land should be used for green infrastructure, where you should plant flowers or trees as ornamental plants.
It's in the law, right?
Yes, it's in the law.
Okay, so
yes.
What's the enforcement measure?
Yes, that's the problem.
Do you enforce?
We usually enforce, but the problem is the compliance by the citizenry is very low.
Okay, so what do you do about that?
So, you know, egun tó le ní Ìbàdàn máa ń fẹ́ àbí. So, when the government is too harsh with the populace, yes, there will be problem again.
Okay.
So we take it in a gently manner.
Now, okay, let's stop.
So I just want to mention something about enforcement, because it's actually very important. I appreciate that you're all laughing about the lack of enforcement, but there are probably around, let's say, 1 million homes in Ibadan. How many people does it take to go to 1 million homes to check there are 30% of their houses is set aside for green infrastructure? The purpose of enforcement in any country, developed or developing or whatever, is to manage at the edges where people are not complying. The biggest problem I see in Ibadan particularly, and I actually see it in Ogun State and some other states we work in Ebonyi, Imo, Ogun, Lagos and Oyo State as well, and the problems are not too dissimilar. But like I said, the resources deployed for enforcement should only be checking the edges. They shouldn't be checking every single citizen to make sure you're paying for your waste bill, to make sure you set aside 30% of your house, to make sure you have a permit for chopping that tree down. We as citizens, and I live in Ibadan, we as citizens have a responsibility to comply with the law. And what these people should be doing on either side is punishing those that don't comply with the law.
Exactly. And the punishment is not coming forth.
Well, the punishment is not coming forth. At the moment, I can tell you now, from the EHOs we work with, we are swamped. We are swamped with people, arresting people who are not paying their waste bill, who are dumping their waste in the median. We don't have enough mobile courts to arrest and punish everybody that goes through.
The government is not doing enough.
No. It's not about the government. It's that we as citizens. No. You're missing my point. It's not about citizens doing their bit. We need to do the most. And what the resources of the government should be doing is managing those at the edges who do not comply. Not managing everybody because we choose not to comply.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Salah, I'm still on the floor.
Okay.
Now, I want to talk about awareness.
Okay.
I think the level, for me, I'm talking in person, the level of awareness is 0. People are not aware. You are not partnering. It's not all about money. When you say media house or media houses, they like money, this and that, you did not write a proposal to meet them and tell them, let's do this thing together. That is why we have media houses. We will be glad to do that, to partner. Of course, we run expenses. We have our expenses. But even if when you're supposed to pay like 3 million, as much as there's this CSR, we can cut to as low as 1 million. What you get. So it's partnership. At least the operator, the DCs and all that. So I think the agencies should do more to that effect in order for everything to work. So it will be, the blame would be on the populace.
All right.
All right. So secondly, the other question I have here, okay, environmental issues in Oyo State have been attributed to low level of awareness amongst residents. I just talked about that. And I said, what is your department doing to raise awareness on air pollution, its effects and prevention? That is another one. Then, I would like to also suggest that maybe, I know no state, I repeat, no state will take away the leadership position from Oyo State. We are the best leading. Alright? So, I think I do something before they take over finally. Because Lagos is beautiful. I'm tempted at go to Lagos. But I love Oyo State. And I know
thank you. Though, as you have said, we usually use radio and TV program for our awareness, especially throughout 2018. We use Fresh FM for awareness campaign, especially on environmental regulation and others. Not only that, we use secondary school in catching them young, especially collaborating with the Plan for the Planet. We inaugurated climate ambassador in some of our secondary school, where we train them on the use of plants and trees to combat climate change. And recently, the management of open public spaces, they also inaugurated the student cadets on tree planting initiative. And all this one, we are using it as a kind of awareness campaign. As we have said, in the Ministry of Environment, we have a department on pollution monitoring and air quality control. There, we used to go to most of the Russia estates. We do emission tests and we give emission reports on their test pollution in commercial and industrial estates. So not only that, any vehicle or industrial estate found wanting will be penalized by the state government. So that's our own air pollution and emission control.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Salah. Please put your hands together for him. Just before we return to the listeners, where you would send in your questions if there is any, or questions for us here, I'd like to come to my last but not the least on the list. The question I have for you, Mr. Jimoh, is that how has your ministry localized international agreements and treaties? I repeat, how has your ministry localized international agreements and treaties, Montreal Protocol, Vienna Convention, and Sustainable Development Goals pertaining to all pollution. Pertaining to air pollution.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question, ma'am. I first of all recognize the presence of our His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Oyo State, in our midst. And thank you very much, sir, and I appreciate your coming. Secondly, before I go to the actual question, I would like to shed more light to some issues on grant, especially when Mr. Paul was talking about waste management in Oyo State. Now, in fact, the main problem we are having with waste management in Oyo State is the issue of attitudinal change of our people. Very, very germane. Attitudinal change of our people. Very, very germane. Take for example, you have somebody from this town. They say, it's not possible. More I call 50 naira. And 100 naira. They will. And that was the tradition in the past. But we thank God now, the government
Clapping and we'll be singing because we know they are coming.
I'm not lying. My religion doesn't permit me to lie. A lot of people can attest to this now. Honestly speaking, now our people are working. Even at the local government level, they are still on it. They are still on it. Like for example now, hello ma. The government in Oyo State today, every Thursday of the week, we have special environmental sanitation. This won't happen because the Ministry of Environment is a policy making body. When we have the flood disaster of 2011, specifically that happened on August 26, 2011, a lot of our were done. So from that particular day, they have introduced special environmental sanitation day, in which all organizations, every Thursday, all organizations, markets, they must not open between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. It was legislated, and the last Saturday of the month, we move around the city of Ibadan, north and gardens of Ibadan. We are not moving with our leg. We move, and we make sure the centers are.
Exactly. So, sorry, I will be picking a random 2 or 3 questions, please. But before we go to the general public, I would like to know if there was a questions. Okay. So, do we have questions? Okay, please. Just say Fresh FM. Sorry, I have to say that. Fresh FM, they have their followership. It doesn't transcend the whole of Oyo State. It's not Ibadan alone. Even some local media will serve the purpose. You have to spot them. You have to know them to be able to get to Iyasikira and Iyabose that are well affected. That is one. Then from the GM of the 11-11-12, she said something that the earth is crying for help. Then if truly the earth is crying for help, I think the attitude put up the other time when you were laughing was not giving judgment to this. This is a serious business, and it must be taken very, very seriously. The attitude of our officers at the ends of affair everywhere seems not to be helping the society. We must face reality. My generation might not be well affected right now, but my children are going to be well affected. And I need the future of my children. I am investing. Everybody is investing. Help us invest in the generation that are yet unborn. Leave a footprint that will save our world very seriously, and I think it will help us. Thank you very much.
This one is saying, what is the research community doing with aluminium aerosol? Sorry, what is the research community doing with aluminium aerosol spray? What has been the progress if there has been any studies? And there is one that says, how consistent is the conversation about problem waste management in Nigeria? And it says, what laws are in place to encourage problem waste disposal, especially in rural poverty-stricken neighborhoods?
Eateries, our ShopRite, and all these people are doing a lot of harm to our society with the nylon. You want to buy one small thing, they give you 5 nylon bags. Why can't we go back to the use of paper bags? We need legislation that is going to protect our environment. You understand? We need behavior change. You want to buy pen, you ask for nylon. You understand? We need to talk to our people. Waste management should start from the management of how we are generating waste. Okay? So I don't have much time to talk about this, but I think, sir, I think we also need to have a real deep conference about our environment beyond this occasional commendable commemoration of World Environment Day. We need to talk, and we need to bring stakeholders together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please put your hands together for him. All right, thank you. So, Doctor and Mr. O'Callaghan, probably you respond to that, and we are done with the session.
Thank you very much for the question. The question directed to me is the association between pollution, air pollution, and non-communicable diseases. Like I said earlier, we talked about cancers, we talked about, and non-communicable diseases talk about diseases that could not be spread by contact and all that. So, majorly the cancers. And like I said, lung cancer, skin cancer, there is possibly no organ is spared. So, this has been shown, research has proven it, that air pollution can cause so many types of cancers. And air pollution has also been associated with decreased production in agriculture, in farming especially. So it can also, on the long run, be associated with even malnutrition. So these are areas where air pollution can directly or indirectly lead to non-communicable diseases. Time will not permit us to go into detail, but that's just the summary.
Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for him. All right. Yeah, you wanted to say something? Okay, you're fine, right?
I'm fine.
Okay, good. All right. With that, we'll end the session, and I say thank you very much to all my panelists this morning.
Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for them. That's the right all right. So I would go without telling you, without letting you know this thing I found about environment, according to Mahatma Gandhi. All right. He said, and I quote, that what we are doing to the forest of this world is what we are, is the mirror reflection of what we are doing to ourselves and one another. So if you see the forest, if you litter the environment, if you pollute the air, you are not just doing it to any other person, but you are doing it to yourself. So let's watch it and let's make things work. Together we can achieve it. Together we can be great again. Yes, it's a great nation, it's a great country, and it starts with you and I. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Please, can we put our hands together one more time for the host of that session? You did a very wonderful job, yes, thank you so very much. And that is why the World Environment Day is actually referred to as the People's Day. It is about us. It is about us. It is about, the next person. It's about the next generation. And of course, may you please put your hands together for our panelists as well. Thank you so very much. That was very educative. And I think we need to put our hands together for the organizer of the symposium, the 11-12 Foundation. Thank you so very much for your concern about the environment.
Well, I think it is important for us to understand that we ourselves are the environment. I know that as people, as Africans, as Nigerians, we are quick to condemn the government. We are quick to say government is not funding publicity. We are quick to say government is not doing this. But ourselves are the problem. We are quick to, I'm sorry, sir, we are quick to say ShopRite is giving nylon. ShopRite are business people. If you yourself, if they give you nylon, put it inside your pocket. When you get to your house, let's be realistic. Put it inside your pocket or your dustbin. We're not saying ShopRite should continue giving nylon. Hello, we're just adding, we're just contributing. But we ourselves are the major problems.
All right, thank you.
We need to educate ourselves.
We need to add to that. We need to start taking responsibility.
We must be responsible for this. I'm angry right now.
Please don't be angry.
I'm angry.
I think we need to start taking responsibility. Oftentimes, like you just mentioned, we're actually very quick to put it on the next person. And oftentimes as well, it is so easy. In fact, it is easiest to put it on the government. Okay, not saying that the government do not have their roles to play. And it actually, from the last session, what I discovered is that we seem to agree with every speaker coming from the private sector. I not agree with the government, okay? But I think it's good, The good news is that we're going to be getting an assurance here. You know that Davido assurance, I'm talking to the youths now. Oh yeah, give me assurance.
Sorry, Sorry, I'd like to add something. Why I'm passionate is because I used to work for a waste management company in Akure, Center Global Alliance. And then there's a lady in Akure, she's here, I just spotted her, Tony Joy. If everybody, Tony Joy, she's turning waste into soap and stuff, she's helping rural people turn their waste into wealth. If everybody in your locality, in your house, everybody in his household, without government input, you in your house, call your mom, call your father, educate them, and say, Daddy, don't do this, Daddy, don't. I will not, when I drink sachet water, I will not drop stuff on the floor. I have never done it. Aside from the fact that I work in a waste management company, it's always inside my pocket. When on my bag, sometimes in my bag you'll find nylon. So I think we are the problems of Africa. Young people are the problems of Africa, not old people, young people. So I'm telling you, I'm not so angry right now. I think that we need to address ourselves. I think that everybody needs to be passionate about this thing. I think that everybody should wake up. Once your daddy, once your father at home does something wrong, you call him daddy, you're not supposed to do that. I'm just sorry. I'm really angry right now. Sorry.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, we're actually supposed to go for the tea break right now, but of course that would have to wait for us to get the assurance. And I'm so sure that you want to hear what His Excellency the Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Raouf Olaniyan, has to say about the issue of the environment. And yes, I'm going to have to give the mic to Mr. Lamani to do the proper introduction.
All right, we're to introduce the Deputy Governor, but I want to say something about the Deputy Governor. Sir, I don't know, you won't remember, the first time I met you was in Chicago, Canada. No, that is Tebaruti. I don't know, I was doing an event like this. It wasn't a waste management, I think it was something. So, I just introduced Daddy, you know what that is? You put my inside pocket. He gave me $2,000. I'm serious. No, I don't lie. No. I want to properly introduce. You know, wait. These people are PDP, they are not APC. Wait. Is this thing going online? Oh. Now, we're in Ghana, that is about nothing in Ghana. I was in Ghana, but from Ghana, that you know what he gave me? It was lovely. 1,005 euros. Emma, what you machine single? Emma was, Emma would have Emma will be Wait. That the camera is here. Cameraman, the camera is here now. That is. That is PDP. So how am I vote in the next 4 years? No problem. You will see me later.
All right, let's please put our hands together for the executive, for His Excellency. Yes, the Executive Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Raouf Olaniyan. Please step forward, sir, for your address. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'll start from the man introducing me. As you said, you know me, I know you. Well, I'm not here to defend the government. We want to talk about air pollution. Simply, you are asking us to discuss Abeta, my neighbor. The havoc of the gen sets cannot be overemphasized. And I cannot, and I will not, excuse the government of the day, Nigeria as a whole. So, but this government that came into Oyo State barely 13 days ago, I just want to assure you that we want to take the responsibility of a cleaner environment in our hand. We don't want to take blame or pass the blame to anybody else. In doing that, I'm sure we may be stepping on people's toe. In doing that, we may be stepping on people's toe because we want to do things outside the box. We want to do our thinking outside the box, where everybody, including me and you, and the government, we should be held responsible. I'm going to read a prepared speech, but I just want to tell us that we need to do more. Me, you, and the government. In doing things outside the box, I know there are various methods of collecting waste before, but we want to go political to solve the problem these days. We will start collecting of garbage or waste from the world level. Since Oyo State is divided into us, into units, let's get them involved. These are the waste are generated from the unit level to the world level. So if we can go to unit level, world level to collect votes, why can't we go there to collect waste? When we were asking for votes, we're not going only to the market, that there are votes in the market. So we should stop blaming the marketplaces alone. We're going to the unit to collect votes, and we should go there to collect waste. So please, let everybody here try to be the ambassador of waste collection in this government. Thank you. Now, among the things we will be considering, somebody has mentioned it. Possibly he was able to inspire my mind. We'll very soon, by the time we'll be having this discourse next year, when this government will be a year in office, we will be talking about how we are able to eradicate nylon bags. We want to go paper bags. I don't, generally with my boss, the executive governor, we are both engineers. We may not know how to talk too much, but we want to walk the talk. So please, and if you have ideas, don't feel shy to put it across. As we always said, we are not interested in you telling us what you want to hear. Tell us what we are supposed to hear, because the society belongs to all of us. The state belongs to all of us. So we are not a group that take interest in psychophancy. No. We want to do the job. Thank you very much. All protocols duly observed. I would like to finally thank the management and staff for Ibadan Business School for inviting me to this event, and I'm honored to give this address. It is very interesting how politics can change human beings. Some couple of years ago, when I was in Ministry of Works, as a civil engineer, we engaged in road construction, using heavy plants, polluting the air. Little do we know that we have to take ample response to the effect of polluting the air. But now it has come to face us squarely. Every house was buying a better mobile, my neighbor here and there, to provide alternative energy, not minding, not knowing the effect will come to us barefaced. That is the effect of non-power generation for our people. According to the World Health Organization, air pollution occurs when harmful and excessive quantity of substance, including gases, particles, biological molecules, are introduced into the earth atmosphere. It may cause disease, allergies, and even death to humans. It may also cause to other living organisms. Both human activities and natural processes can generate air pollution. Major causes of air pollution are from natural sources such as volcanic eruption, gases, forest fires, mass gases, organic and inorganic vegetative decay. Air pollution can also be caused by man-made sources of anthropogenic sources such as burning of fossil air, operation of automobiles, thermal plants, heating of plants, and industrial processes. The amount of air pollution generated from generators cannot be oversized, especially the habitat generators. However, it is almost impossible to completely blame the users of these gensets, considering the fact that the government has not been able to provide uninterrupted power supply to its citizens. The usage of alternative renewable energy will significantly reduce the amount of CO2, carbon dioxide, being emitted into the atmosphere. That being said, the cost of purchasing this renewable energy technology equipment, such as solar panels, batteries, inverters, have become a major challenge. Air pollution causes an enormous burden on health, the environment, and national economy. It is annually responsible, according to the World Health Organization, 7 million people and approximately 600,000 of deaths emanated from cardiovascular respiratory disease such as cancer. Scientific research carried out by the World Health has proven that air pollution is the root cause of these deaths. As we focus on our effort to reduce the global burden of non-communicable disease, we cannot ignore the negative impact of air pollution on the environment. Even in the third world, countries like Nigeria, where citizens live on less than $1 per day, it is important to tackle the air pollution because it has adversely affected our food security and availability at this critical period. Most of output of farms, I'm a farmer as well. I know how much, what's the output of my farm in per hectare in the last 5 years. I know what it is now. The output from farm per hectare is decreasing yearly. And not because of lack of enough fertilizer, lack of enough rain. No, that's not enough. The effect of air pollution is taking its call. It's taking serious call on our farming output. One of the most interesting character of air pollution is that it has no boundary. If air is polluted in Kamancha or polluted in Gombe, people in Oyo State should not just sit down and say, it's none of my business. The effect will reach us in less than a month. So we should be concerned on what happens in other societies within our area. Public health is a responsibility of the whole society and government in particular. Government has to provide safe, healthy environment for the people to live in. Making progress effectively tackling the air pollution requires action on different fronts from the government, the people, and the society collectively. Our government will take proactive steps to provide rural electrification as a way of reducing air pollution. As a matter of fact, plans are underway to go into alternative sources of energy and to make use of waste management to produce energy. We want by next year, we want people to start saying Oyo State is on the path of being tagged a carbon-friendly or green state by using paper bags. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development provide an inspiring and effective unifying framework to mobilize different sectors of society, stakeholders, for the participation in the eradication or mitigating of air pollution. Developing an accelerated intricate intervention in the energy production, transport and other sectors will help us to provide and achieve the sustainable development goal by imbibing pro-environmental behavior. Finally, I wish to commend this symposium organizers, the Ibadan business schools. Together we can reduce the pollution in our society. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Once again, please, let's give Our Excellency a round of applause, please. I was thinking the core members that are here will be smart too, like me, to use time to ask for thorough cover from daddy, but you know, me, I'm a money guy. Core members, please, I want you to stand up on your feet. Please. You can't be here and the deputy governor doesn't know you are here. So please stand up. You're a core member. Daddy, yes sir. Oh, Emma, sit down. Sit down. Ah. Sit down. Core member, sit down. Daddy, if you are going, ADC. Don't give them, just give me. 3 votes are for Daddy Joe. Ah, people are not doing like oh yeah, let's wait. Let's wait. Ah, ara bobo ikan. Ara wa wo ke bobo e need owo. Egbon, wọ́n ti sọ aláwí ni. Okay. See, you people don't know how to do politics. Let's politicize this. PDP. Only Daddy Mawusi. PDP. Okay. They say I should know. Alright, sorry. I was
Thank
joking.
You very much,
I was
ladies
joking.
and
I'm sorry,
gentlemen.
Daddy. I was joking, please.
I don't know. Were we able to get the assurance from the deputy governor's speech?
Yes.
Yes, he said that the present administration is going to be thinking outside the box. And there is plan for alternate source of energy through waste. And he mentioned also that the use of nylon is going to be a thing of the past, very in Oyo State. Please put your hands together for him again. And do you know the thing I love about Oyo people? Oyo people, they know how to do something. What's that, Abby? You want me to remind you what happened during the last election? So you people, why do we have a new government? So if they don't keep to their words, we will show them out. Don't mind this man, no. We're not playing politics. This is serious.
Okay.
And yes, I believe the deputy governor, and I know that we're going to get all the assurance that he has given to us. So we're waiting and we're ready. And we're ready to walk along, because it is not just the duty of the government. We have to play our part to make this environment safe. And not just because of us, because the next generation deserve a good climate. Okay? So whatever you're doing right now, it's not just affecting you, it's not just affecting me. It is going to affect our children. And they're innocent. Some people took care of the environment, we met it, and we're able to sustain and live in it. Let's leave it better than we met it for the next generation. All right, thank you so much, sir. Please put your hands together for our deputy governor again. Please, sir, is there avenue for selfie? Because I know that so many young people would want to. Yes, so city coppers there. They want selfies. Observation. Okay, very quickly before you take it, I would like you to step out actually. Well, but of course, I need to correct that this event is actually organized by 11-11-12 Foundation, and of course, Mr. Mr. Adetunji Lamadeshino is actually the man in charge. Thank you so much. And it didn't just start this year. I remember last year I was part of it. I mean, we had to walk around from Challenge to Odo. Yes, last year's theme was beat plastic pollution, so I was a part of it. So he's been doing it, not be today. And of course, it would only continue if you and me are willing to work with him and make this environment better. That's how he would achieve the basic essence. So now we're going for the tea break. Okay, you have an observation. Please, can you step forward?
Wait, I hope it's not a political observation, because I've been warned. I'm don't they look me since Nkoto Solek.
Thank you, sir. I'm Sanitarian Ililade Adedamola Olasukomi from the West African Postgraduate College of Environmental Health, WAPSE. West African Postgraduate College of Environmental Health. It is the apex, the climax of environmental health professionals. We regulate, we control the Francophone, the Lusophone, and the Lusophone countries, the Portuguese, the English countries, and French countries. With all humility, sir, I want to use this podium to say thank you for this opportunity. His Excellency, sir, there is a major problem that Oyo State is facing presently. One, thank God for this, for the program, which is on air pollution. Sir, the number one major problem that we have is by going to the trends of what is happening presently into environmental health practitioners. Our boss, they are getting, presently as I'm talking now, we have less than 322 environmental health personnel throughout the 33 local governments and some SCDAs. Please, sir, with all humility, sir, the issue, the reason why environmental health work is not being effective because we lack of personnel. We lack of personnel. We lack of personnel. And our boss, they are getting retired. Going to all the other local governments. Thank you so much. Please, recruitment. Please, sir, this is an avenue. And we have some company bands which are environmentalist. Please, that is the major issue. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Wait. Sit down, sir. Wait, sorry. Before I hand over to... Wait. Sit down. Sit down. Thank you very much. 2 observations, please. I like this man. He's smart. I think he's looking for promotion. He said, Daddy, the elders are old. They are going. So, okay. Boboto sorry, he's a smart guy. And then number 2, in a anywhere there's government people, let me tell you how to get them. Just tell them that, sir, if you do this and this, the Francophone company, by the time you are contesting next this thing, they'll give you 500,000 votes. That is how to catch politicians. So maybe I should give you time to rephrase your decision. Daddy, in that place, we'll vote for you 500,000 votes. But however, thank you very much, sir. No, this is louder, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, the last speaker considered in taking me out of my head. Actually, the last government make recruitment of some officers of environmental, well, which you might have heard this government wanted to withdraw from. Why? If a government should stay for 8 years and there was no recruitment first year, second year, up to 5th year, 6th, 7th, then when it's, the government's about to leave in 2 months after losing the election, well, we consider any appointment done at that period as an ill wind and ill motivated. So I want to assure our teaming youths, we had plan on ground to create employment. And some of them will be employed, even more than those that were asked to go. But it's going to be done with the fear of God, with distribution according to all areas of your state. Because if you are employing people after losing election, when it is done on you that you are going, 2 weeks you are going or 1 month you are going, you are now employing people to create problem for the incoming government. We are not going to take that. So I assure people we are going to give employment, a normal employment. As a matter of fact, I want to let you know that from this Thursday, we are going to start kickstarting the process that will lead to the dry port in Oyo State by tomorrow, Thursday. And when we have a dry port in Oyo State, you know the effect, the ripple effect, they're going to be employment. People just, ships, container will only get to Lagos. People will be coming to Ibadan to clear their container. So please assure everybody we are going to create employment, not only for Wule-Wules, even for medical doctors, for others too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. All right.
Thank you very much, sir. We're going to request for a photo session with the governor, and I would like the organizer of this event to get ready at the green carpet, yes, right outside. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we're going for...
Please, where's the lady to lead the governor?
We're going for a short tea break. We'll be back. It's going to be last for about 5-10 minutes. Please, it is tea break. And just take 1 cup. Just you get.
Please, very quickly, let's have it in this order because that place cannot take all of us. So hello, please, can you help me? Can we just start with our special guest of honor? Our special guest, rather. Please, let's have you at the corner out there for your tea break. And right after that, we'll take it row by row. I think we have like 4 rows here. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll take it one after the other. That place can't take everyone. So, our special guests, please, let's have you at the tea corner. Thank you very much. Of course, don't forget that right after that, we'll be back for the second session. of the symposium.